Okay, so this is kind of the self-talk of a three. The world values winners. I must succeed at all costs. I must avoid failure. I am what I do to earn my place. Must be the best at what I do. And boy, that was sure true. In many cases in the military, when I was on active duty and doing different things, we had to excel in all that we did. And the military really taught us, don't let your weaknesses be known so much, but just bring out the strengths, I
Mm,
think. And the gifts of the Enneagram 3, I'll just run through those really quick.
yeah.
Ambition. So that's one that, they want military people, enlisted and officers, both to be very ambitious, um, efficient. Okay, you want to be resourceful, you want to be able to get the job done. And you might not know how to do the job, but you're still have got to get the job done. Adaptable. So you're adapting as you like start the job, you don't know what's going on, and then you get
Yeah.
in there, you do the job. So you're adapting along the way as you go. And then finally you get to be more of an expert as you've done the job for a while. Driven. You just have to be really driven in everything that you're doing while all this is going on, whether you know the job, don't know the job, you still have to keep track of what your goals are and to keep driven. And then results oriented. Well, the Army and the Air Force are very
Mm,
much, they go off of quotas for everything, like 95% done here, 85% done there. So they're always looking for different results. And then your own results as well, like you're taking tests or you're being involved in, groups that are doing things and performance and, of how things are functioning, that kind of thing. So everything is being evaluated all at the same time frame. Those were things that I thought were really important to bring out. Uh, um,
yeah, you brought out some really good ones. And it really is interesting with your background because people are always asking, well, how does your Enneagram type get formed? And society and in certain environments and roles, you do have to, going back to that adaptability, regardless of what your core driver is, you may have to um, take on some tendencies that maybe are outside of what your go-to strategy would be had you been in a different career or job role. So that is always really interesting. And then the thing with the three that's always interesting in general is that we have so much type three in the United States in general, like especially with our work ethic, it's work
okay.
harder and effort. So we all have a little bit of that, but that's helpful to know what pieces of that resonate with you. So I'm going to ask you another question about the type A. And these two can get kind of, I don't want to say confused, but it can sometimes feel very similar because they both, along with the type 7, are in that assertive stance, meaning they tend to be very future focused, kind of going far and fast, and they're not necessarily going to wait for permission. They're just going to jump into it and make it happen, get it done. And how they do that is just a little bit different. And we'll talk about some of those in just a minute. But out of curiosity, just kind of learning about your own personal experience, what about that type A energy, sometimes known as the challenger, the protector, the boss, really resonates with you as well?
Okay. All right. Again, I'm going to go back to the core qualities kind of an 8. Just one second.
Yeah.
It's not letting. Okay, good. Let me go in. I did my homework, Sarah.
I know. Well, Vicky and I had been talking on LinkedIn, and I had sent her, she has some guides on, and there's a lot of information. I think they're like 25 pages each, to help her get some additional clarification. But I thought, oh, it'll just be a fun kind of conversation to have on air. And we'll get into some of the differences, but this is always a learning experience for me as well, just to learn outside of a textbook and someone who's actually experiencing what really resonates with them. So I get so much out of this too.
So, okay. So here's kind of what the self-talk, where the 8 has its self-talk, or where they tell themselves, the world is a tough and unjust place. Only the strong survive. I'm a rock. I must not be weak. I must be in control. Do it my way. And I can sure see a lot of 8s in the military also.
Yes.
So again, if you don't mind, if I'll just kind of do what I did before, go over the gifts of the 8 as well. And they have some very similar ones to the 3, of course. But here is the one that I think is trying to be where I think the 3 has already gotten themselves to
Okay.
the achievement place. The 8 is trying to be that achiever all the time and rock and strong person. But so you'll hear some of the same ones again. So assertive, again, you know, the military really puts us out there. We're very assertive. We're probably that type of person anyway, but we just don't always understand that. Like I thought I was very shy when I joined the military, and boy, there was probably, by the time I left the military after 30 years of being, you know, being in and then retiring, I can sure see that I was a very assertive person, but you don't always realize that when you're young, you know. Decisive. Again, you're making decisions fast. Things are going quick. You don't have time to think about it. And I see that. I do that in the regular world too. My son and I went to buy a car one time, and I made a decision over about 5 minutes which car I wanted to buy. I mean, they weren't even located together. I had to call different people. I had, you know, it was a very kind of involved process. And I just said, that's the one, you know, and he was like, wow, you make decisions fast, Mom. So, and he was only 20 at the time. He's 27 right now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Protective. And I think they're protective of themselves, but they're also protective of other people. They, you know, they just really, it says 8s are big hearted and take people under their wing. They protect the people and things they care about and will fight against injustices. And we had a lot of officers that would do that. They would protect the other people around them. We had some that were not good and did not protect the people underneath them. And they had some real issues and problems. You know, either their people did or they did. Again, very independent person. You know, they just know what they want, and they want to maintain their autonomy. And then influential. And this autonomy thing, I see that even to this day with me, with being involved in what I'm doing, where I'm going. We're just very out there kind of with our business. And it's like, it's okay. I'm comfortable in that because this is what I've been doing for the last umpteen years, along with being in the military, is running this rental business. So it's like, it's all right. I'm okay with that, which some people would really have a hard time with. Influential. 8s have their own way of taking charge, influencing others, which includes the capacity to influence the bigger picture. And I've always been a bigger picture thinker, so that doesn't surprise me at all. And I've always been very influential in even the little things, and maybe not every second of every day of every minute, you know, but I've been, you know, and there's certain ways that I try to influence people, and it just comes out natural.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, both types tend to be pretty natural leaders, especially in the entrepreneurial world, in corporate, probably in the military. You're going to have a lot of 3s and a lot.